Fitriani, and now we are at Kota Tua, Jakarta, and today we will interview some foreigners about their friendship and family in their cultures. And so let's go! Let's go!
In your culture, medsos, in family,
Single?
yes. How single meet in your culture?
Single in my culture meet other friends. You mean single men and women, or just how do I just meet friends?
Just a person
In general,
yeah, in general.
how do I make friends?
Yes.
I make friends from school, I make friends from work, and I make friends when I go out with other friends.
Ah.
I also make friends from family.
And then if you move to the new place, you will meet people with new culture and difference how you will adapt.
When I go to other place, I meet new people. How do I make friends with them?
Yes.
So I try to ask my friends who have gone to those places if they can recommend me their friends. So let's say if I'm coming to Indonesia, I ask my friend who have been in Indonesia before. Then I ask them like, do you have a friend there? Can you keep us in touch? And they recommend me their friends. Then we can hang out if we like each other, become friends. Otherwise, I find people with common interests. I come here, I see interesting things, interesting people. If it's possible, I talk to them. If they're interested, we share coffee or something, then we're friends.
So you have friends in here now?
Yes.
Are you here for vacation or?
Here, I was here for a workshop. Business workshop.
Then if you talk with new friends and there is a misunderstanding, how you will overcome that?
Because we come from different culture, I'm always mindful of things I say and how I say. I try to pay attention so that I see how you do things, and then I try to follow in the line of how you do things. But when I communicate and you don't understand me, I try to repeat, I try to apologize, or I try to use Google Translator.
Maybe with gesture too. Gesture.
Guest?
Gesture?
What is gesture?
Gesture.
Yes.
Like body language.
Body language? I use a lot of body language. Just I try to observe.
Oh.
Yeah, see like someone pointing me back to show me like this.
Are you have a stereotype about people in Indonesia?
Stereotype?
Stereotype.
I don't have a stereotype, but just one surprising thing. A lot of people don't speak English.
Oh yeah. Yes.
And you are very nice people.
Oh, thank you. You too.
Yeah, and I come from a country where a lot of people are a little bit tall. So, yeah, but you are beautiful, you are nice.
You're too beautiful.
Do you have difficulty making friends in Indonesia?
Just communication.
Yes. Because many people in here can speak English.
They barely speak English.
Is there a difference between making four friends in your country and Indonesia?
People from Indonesia are very nice, so I think it's easier to make friends with them if you can communicate with them. In my country, people are also nice, but people here are more nice.
Is there any problem when you make friends in here?
Just communication.
Oh, just communication.
Yeah, but otherwise, it's okay.
how strong the influence of social media to make friends in
Indonesia?
Yeah.
I haven't used social media to make friends. I haven't tried.
Also, you just make friends in.
From the same friends.
Oh, yeah. And the rest, do you think there are differences about your friends in Indonesia and in your country?
No, I don't think there is much difference. Some friends I have here in Indonesia are very helpful, very nice, and very caring. In my country, good friends are also the same, so they are caring, very nice.
Okay, then Miss, thank you. Thank you for your time. So, Mister, we are from University of Singapore Bangsa. We are student of English educations, and here we are. Let me introduce myself. My name is Dewi Pitaloka, and so my friend, introduce yourself.
My name is Ima Risma.
And then my name is Desy.
And please, sir, so you can introduce yourself, such as your name, your job, and what you're doing in Indonesia.
So my name is Hans Zauner. I'm landscape architect in Austria. I'm from Austria, and I run my own company, my own business, landscape business and landscape architect business. And here in Indonesia, I'm for holidays. Nice Indonesia, the culture, people. Yeah.
Okay, and we here doing interview casual interview, and we asking a few questions regarding the cultures of friendship and family in your country. And if there are a question that offends you, or you can choose to not to answer it.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll just go to the first question, Mister. Are you ready? Okay,
I'm
Ima
ready.
Risma, please ask the questions to Mr. Hans.
How singles meet in your culture, methods, and family and friends?
Once again, I did not understand very clearly. Can you repeat the question?
How singles meet in your culture, media social, and family and friends?
How is the situation, or how is the? I don't catch the question.
Maybe how the person in general meet each other in your country in Australia is from social media or from friend by friend. You
So
get it,
I
sir?
think I understand now. So in my case, I prefer to meet friends face to face, but it's mostly the same like here that people communicate a lot with this social media, and even when they meet each other, they are just talking or playing or communicating with the mobile. So I prefer to see face to face. But I have the imagination that in Europe, it's more that the people communicate more via social media than here. Is it clear, or you want to know more about?
Oh, is it clear? So you prefer to make friends with face to face? Yes.
Yes, exactly. I love to make friends face to face and not via social media.
Okay, maybe to the next questions.
If you move to the new place, you will meet people with new culture and difference. How you will adapt?
And move west. Understand? Okay. Can you read for me again? I don't. When I move to new places or other countries, so my way is always to travel in a cheap way. So not to travel in a resort or travel in big hotels. So I like to get in contact with the normal people. So using normal buses, uses train, underground, public buses. So in this case, you get a lot of contact with local peoples, and as well, I think it's respectful to know some phrases, some words in this foreign language to give them the feeling that you are interested in, not just seeing the hotspots or seeing the beautiful thing or doing big tour with a guided tour. Do it by your own and get in local people. This is my way to travel and to see or meet new people. So social media I don't use as much because for this you need to know the language, and I don't know Bahasa Indonesia.
Okay, get it, Mister. So the next question.
If you talk with new friends and there is a misunderstanding, how you will overcome that?
Sorry, Mister, what?
Yeah, I understand. I'm thinking about how I misunderstand. So this is a important question because it is like every country have their own things how they think about. So you have to be careful, listen a lot, being more quiet, being more patient, and find out how people react. Because here in Indonesia, it's completely different than to Europe or in Austria. So we get very easily aggressive when we don't we want to have, or we are impatient. So and Indonesians are very, very patient, and they can take a lot of time for one thing. So for my example, I have to learn to get very patient here. It's a good school for me to listen and to do it slowly and see how others react. Yeah.
Yes, I get it, Mister. Ima, please.
Are you have a stereotype about people in Indonesia?
If I have a stereotype, no, I don't have a stereotype. Um, so I had been here several times in Indonesia already. So long when I finished my studies, I traveled around. So I got my first impression, but this is 30 years ago. And no, I'm open-minded and I don't have stereotypes here. And it is interesting to find how people are different here in Indonesia than Europeans. Yeah. And yeah, that's mostly what travel means for me, to meet people, to interact and have a good time. Anything else you want to know?
Yes. Next question. Do you have difficulty making friends with Indonesians?
No, I don't have problems to make friends with Indonesians. For me, it's quite easy to make friends. Yeah. And Indonesians are open-minded. They like to talk and they are interesting. They're asking and yeah, it's easy to make friends here. Much easier than in Europe or in Austria. Because Austrians, Europeans are much more reservated. So they are more distanced and a bit more cold. And here people are much more interested in foreigners. Yes?
Okay, next question. Is there a difference between making for friends in your country and Indonesia?
Making for friends in your country. Yeah, there are some difference to making friends here and in Indonesia. Here or in Austria, So I think the most difference is that in Europe or in Austria, it's more difficult to get in contact with other peoples. And what else differences? People are here more respectful to foreigners. So this is more friendly, more. So when you arrive here at the airport, everyone is smiling, everyone is helping you, greeting. And so when you arrive in Rwanda at the airport, I'm from here, so from the face like this, and they're not as friendly like here. So you, as a foreigner, you feel very, very welcome here in Indonesia. So this is, I guess, the most difference. For sure, the language is always a problem to make friends because you don't understand the language, but step by step you can pick up a bit more words in Indonesian.
Okay. Next, is there any problem when you make friends in Indonesia?
No, it's not a problem. So, but the another difference is that women here are treated different than in Europe. Yeah, in Europe you don't make many difference between girls, women, and men. Here is a very between men and women. There is a more distance. There is more respect to it. So this we don't have in Europe or especially in Austria. We don't have, but this is based on religion. It's based on tradition, and you have respect to learn. It's yeah, it's different than this.
Okay. How
Yeah.
strong? Next question, sir. How strong in the influence of social media?
Can you repeat it once again?
How strong in the influence of social media?
In my country or here in Indonesia?
In Indonesia, when you make friends, how strong the influence of Instagram or Facebook, like that?
So here it's very important for the Indonesians. For me, it's not as important. Use use Facebook or much other applications. So for me, it's always important to make friends face by face, not via application. So that's the best way for me. But this is more old school. You are young, but I'm already 58 years. I'm having 58 years, so I did not grow up like you with this social media, using it all day and all time. So for me, it doesn't make, it's not as important.
Okay. Yes.
For Indonesians, it's very important. When you travel by train or underground, or when you're going by public and chatting with the iPhone or with a mobile, and no one is talking. So in this case, I have the idea that we are more talking in public places together than here, because everyone is concentrated to their mobile. Yeah.
Okay. Do you think there are difference about your friends in Indonesia and your culture?
If there are differences between friends in Indonesia and in my country.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, there are many differences. Yeah, there are difference, cultural difference. I have the idea that here people respect more older people. So this is in Europe, or especially in Austria, they don't make difference between older and young ones, or the young ones are very strong and they want their rights, so they don't respect as much as here. And what else? That this is mostly what I think it's the main difference. And sure, the character, the culture, things a bit different. but that's not as strong as, as I thought. Mostly the respect to older people. That's the main difference. And sure, to women, the respect for women, it's very different here. How you treat them, and yeah, and religious things are very common here. So we don't, in Europe or Austria especially, or Middle Europe, we don't care about religion as much as you do here. Yeah. So in our country, religion is only a private thing and not a public. And so this is different here. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, next question, sir. In your country, do babies live in separate place from their parents?
Can you repeat, please? Because the connection is not always very good.
Okay. In your country, do babies live in separate place from their parents?
So this is as well different. Here, the young people live as long as they are not married, they live with the parents. Yeah. This, I think, is a thing that's especially here in these countries. So we try to get independent as soon as possible. So when we finished high school, so we go to study to another city or to another country in Europe. So you try to be as soon as possible independent from your parents, that you can have your own money, that you have your own apartment, that you can live your life uh, beside your parents, and not parents control everything. What are you doing, and that. So this is much more liberal than here. We try. So in my case, when I finished my high school with 15, 16 years, I moved out from home. Just on weekends I came home for seeing family, but I studied in another city. So, and then you start to run your own life and earn your own money as soon as possible. So you don't live until 30 years or 40 years or until you get married. You don't live with. Sorry, we had problems with
Yes, it's okay with that.
yeah. So we try to be as soon as possible independent and have our own life and out of parents' control.
Okay, are parents in Austria usually paid for children when they are old? Uh,
So it depends. The parents pay normally until they finish the study. Yeah. So with end of high school, when you do high school and studies, so you end high school with 18 years, and then you start to study. So when in this, the parents pay normally. So the internet is. So, here again. What was the last question? So they pay until we finished our studies, and then, but many of the students have to work during the studies as well. So because they work as a waiter or for companies or in the holidays to get money for the studies. And we have a good social system as well. So if you're from a poor family, or if you have a lot of brothers and sisters, you get sponsored by the government. So this is Austria is trying to give everyone the same chance, that you not only when you're rich, that you can have a good education. So that everyone have the same possibilities, so they are sponsored by the government. But normally they are paid by parents until they're ready with their studies.
And in Austria, is the parents when they are old, they are carried by children or sent to nursing homes.
So this is completely different than here as well. We pay a lot of taxes and we pay a kind of insurance every month. A part of our income goes automatically for how you call it? No, they go for these insurances, the money. Yeah. So and you keep this money for when you're retired. So we tried when we are retired that most of the people can stay independent of alone, or they only go to these nurse homes when they have problems by moving or not. No one else is here, or they got Alzheimer or something like this. But our social system protects the old ones, so we pay every month a part of our income for this last period of life where we can get nice end of the life. But for sure, it's different than here because here the children take care of the parents, and this is another community here, much stronger. The family life is much stronger here than in Austria. Many of these old people are very lonely because no one take care of them. It's not just about taking care that they have health care, that someone is washing them, or it's more mental health. And this is a problem that I see that's here much better, that the family society takes care of the whole family. Yeah. And these big families like farmer families, they don't exist as much as here in Indonesia. Yeah. And
Yes.
all of all of this, we are sometimes too busy to everyone have to work for his own life to earn money, and life is expensive in our countries, so no one have time to, or no one say you have time to care about your parents.
Okay, maybe the last questions.
Yeah.
In Australia, in Austria, who is the who is responsible in finance in family? Only men or woman? The wife also work.
So this is the last years, the last 20 years, the women takes a lot of responsibility, and so how you say Gleichberechtigung when they have the same rights. So we I forgot the English word, how to say when man and woman have the same rights by law. So, so women are very independent. They going to work, the kids going very early to kindergarten or kinder groups, and both of the family of the parents are going for work, and the kids go to school, kindergarten, and yeah. And the responsibility is that it's not as clear as here that the men take care of the family. Here in Austria, it's more that both take care of the family. And another thing is that half of the half of the marriages they are divorced. So and mostly women get the children, so they have to care about the children. They have to earn the money. They have to save the money. They have to run the family. So women, the power of the woman is very, very growing up every year, and I think it's completely different than here. Yeah.
Okay, so I think the interview is over because the question is finished. And thank you for the answer you have given. And if there are a mistake in our words or behavior, we are apologize. Um, before we close the meeting, we ask permission to take the screenshot of photos. Are you willing?
Sure, you can take screenshots and whatever you can do with the video that you made. It's yours. It was my pleasure to answer the question, to see a bit the difference between Indonesia and the European culture. And yeah, that's one of the most important or most interesting thing, to see how these worlds are different, and every world is working, but in its own way. And everywhere there are good sides and bad sides. So you always have to see what you want or what is important for you. Thank you so much for the interview. Good luck for school and for study. And I hope you get strong, as powerful and strong women here in Indonesia.
Okay, thank you,
Thank you
sir,
so much.
for helping us to complete our final project. And I hope you are always healthy and have fun in Indonesia.
I do
Enjoy
have
your
fun,
vacation.
and I have a wonderful vacation here. Thank you so much and good luck. Terima
Thank you,
kasih.
sir. Terima kasih. Goodbye, sir.
Bye. Sampai jumpa. Some words I can say.